no better way to close out my
Yeah.
birthday. So thank you very
Dude,
much.
that's legit. Did you do anything fun today?
Just worked, cut hair, got off a little early, came back, hung out with the family, and had some dinner, had some pizza, and then just hung out. So nothing crazy.
Yeah. Let's see that hair, by the way.
It's,
Last time I saw you had a buzz cut. Now it's long as hell, right?
it's bad, man. It's crazy.
Look at
I
that.
mean, quarantine helped big time. Quarantine helped fuel the fire big time. And everyone always says you work in a barber shop and your hair's like that. Like, how is that even possible? But I don't know. I mean, I guess it's the first profession I've had that I can like do something like this. So figured I'd try it out.
Yeah.
Why not?
Hell yeah, man. Yeah, cheers, by the way.
Very. Cheers. I'm excited to try. I
So-
haven't tried it yet, so
Oh, man, it's a beast. I just took a sip before I walked down here.
woo! This is phenomenal. Phenomenal.
Thank you.
So
It
so
is
good.
strong. It's
Mm.
So these things are usually 3 ounces total. And
Yeah.
I think I sent you about 9 ounces,
Yeah,
maybe 12.
I was gonna
At first I
say,
thought,
Haley, it was with
yeah,
me whenever we opened the package up, and she said, "Damn, that's more than just one little drink." And I was like, "Hey, I'm not complaining." So yeah,
good.
definitely,
You
definitely
might feel a
good.
little rough in the morning.
Hey, it is what it is.
So Haley is you guys are expecting a little one.
We are, we're expecting a little boy, so pretty excited about that. We
Oh wow.
have a girl now, and then she has a son. But
Yep.
I've been in his life. He's 8 now. I've been in his life since he was like 2, 3. So I consider him one of my own. So yeah, it's
Yeah.
nice to guys outnumber the girls in the house now. So looking forward to that.
The the power is now in your hands.
Yes.
Dude, one of the things I remember is when you and Haley first got together is almost right away you like took on a father role, and it was pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, it was just a tough situation for him. His dad, wasn't just in another state; he was in another country. Um, so that
Oh wow.
yeah, it was just like his dad lives in Italy. He was actually born in Italy, lived in Italy until he was 3, and then Haley and him came back over here. Things just didn't work out. But yeah, just like not having that father role. I don't know. I just felt like he needed to have that in his life. And regardless if we worked out or not, like I spent enough time with the kid that, I wanted to be that kind of guy. So yeah, it's been great. I mean, it's a really, really cool relationship that we have. It's a cool relationship that I have with his dad too. We've gotten really close as well. So it's nice.
So he's in touch with his dad.
Yeah, I mean, the time difference, things like that, it is difficult. But yeah, I mean, he talks to him. We try and FaceTime every Sunday, just try and keep that relationship strong because it is, a continent away. So
Yeah.
just anything we can do, he wants to be involved in his life. So why not make that happen?
That's cool, man. And how old is your second one?
She,
You and
she
Haley's.
just turned 2. She turned 2 January 2nd, and
Oh man.
she's hitting the terrible twos hard, man. She is full personality, full diva. Just it's her teenage years are gonna be crazy.
So I got news for you, man. If you think 2 is bad, and maybe you experienced this with the first one, 3 is even worse, man.
No, and you're coming from the girl angle too, so I
Yeah.
completely believe it,
Yeah.
and I mean, I know it's coming. I know it's coming. I see how your daughter is like, personality just comes full bore. You know what I mean? Like
Dude.
it's just like they take on, that and they just go with it. It's awesome, but yeah, I can see it's just gonna get even more and more difficult, but it's what we signed up for, right?
Yeah, absolutely, man. I wouldn't have it any other way. Yeah, it's the worst part is I've got to PG myself. I can't
Yeah.
curse anymore because it's
I,
instantly
I
instantly
unfortunately,
shadowed, man.
unfortunately, I can't help it. I just, sometimes I let it slip. I try and keep myself, but sometimes you gotta, it just happens, you know, and they're gonna hear it anywhere. I mean, you know how
Yeah,
it is. It's
you give them alternative words.
exactly. Try and do the, poop and stuff like that. Uh,
Yep. Yeah, man. Yeah, so we first met in what, 2014?
yeah,
Maybe even before that?
I was trying to figure it out
Yeah.
today. Because like when I got back to the area from college, it was just like a whirlwind couple years there. And I was going to say like 2014, 2013, 15, somewhere around there. I know it was somewhere around
Yeah.
there.
Yeah, man. It's so Kyle came to me when I actually was not even an owner of a DJ company. I was a general manager. I brought him on board. He was dope from the start. But I want to go over like, dude, like you are the man of many paths. So
Yeah.
just naming a few that I know, you are a, is the correct term, mortician or war
I
was?
didn't get there yet. Like I would be considered like a funeral intern, I guess you could say, a funeral director intern, like
Okay.
mortician intern, I guess. I was in school. I was going to be a funeral director or mortician, but yeah, I was that. I
But
was
now you're a barber, right?
Yes. Yep. I'm a barber now. When I was in college at Wilkes University, I was working at Mohegan Sun as a poker dealer, and I did that for like 2 years. And that was
I had
like,
no idea.
uh, and I was like, I had to take a test. Like I had to get officially certified by the state. Like it was a big deal, and I went to school for it. Like it was, I think, my junior, like the end of my junior year going into my senior year, and it was my junior spring semester, and I played football, but I didn't have anything going on in the spring because football was in the fall. So I was, trying to find a job, and there was just an ad. The Mohegan Sun just opened up with table games and poker, and they were looking for dealers, and I was like, I used to play poker, so I thought it'd be cool, and I didn't realize like I got there and you had to take like a little test to make sure that you were, knew what you were talking about, knew what you were doing. And then once you passed that test, then you had to go to school. And the school wasn't just like a weekend or anything like that. It was like a 6 month school that I ended up having to stay over the summer for. And it ended up going into the fall, and I was working overnights and then doing school during the day and football. It was just crazy. It was crazy, crazy. But I mean,
Yeah.
the money was good, so I couldn't say no.
So the
But
money for a poker dealer is pretty. Can you live off of that?
oh, hell yeah, man. Yeah.
Oh,
It was like when you go to the casino, like when you play in blackjack and roulette and stuff like that, you tip the dealer afterwards. Like all of those dealers have to pool their tips at the end of the night, and then they split it up that way. But with
yeah.
poker, you get to keep all your tips. So whatever I make in tips that night, that's going in my pocket. I don't have to give it to anyone else. The casino isn't getting anything of it. It's I take it all home. So it really just matters like how fast you are, how many hands you can get out, and how well you can talk to people, how well you can, make people believe that you're actually giving them winning cards. So,
Right.
but it was a cool job, man. I enjoyed it.
So you said while when you were at Wilkes, did you play football for Wilkes?
Yeah, yeah. I went. That's why I went to school there. Played football there, and then I got hurt. And this actually helped the poker dealer, but I got hurt when I was training and working out in the summertime. I got a sports hernia, and it didn't let me able to play. I wasn't able to play my senior year, so I actually ended up getting on board with the coaching staff because my original game plan was I wanted to go to school, become a history teacher, and coach football at a high school. Do that whole thing, and obviously I veered way off that path, but that my coach knew all that, and he said, "Hey, well, we'd like for you to be a part of the team still. Why don't you just stay on board? You could be a assistant coach or like a student GA, So it was cool. Like I was able to be Coach Turchetta, but I focused a little more on like the poker dealer aspect of it at that point, and I wasn't going to the NFL or doing anything like that, and the whole coaching vibe, that sort of, I wasn't going down that road as much as the year went on that year. So I just sort of focused off of football, and I mean it was all good. I have no regrets about it at all. But yeah, that was that was Wilkes.
Yeah, but you're currently, or maybe pre-pandemic, you're also a football coach locally.
Yeah, I coached at the local high school here for 2 or 3 years. But what happened was I was cutting hair, and when I would get busy down in the barber shop, would be like most busy would be when football practice was. So I
Yeah.
had to sort of pick one or the other, and I have to. Unfortunately, the coaching money wasn't like the barber money, so I had to.
No, not at a local high school by any
No,
means.
no. So
Yeah,
had to pick
it's a
the.
labor of love,
Yep. Yeah. So, but I mean, eventually I'd like to get back into it, but we'll see.
dude. And also, like every single one of my guests, you're also a DJ, and that's how you and I know each other.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And how's that going?
I mean, you know, it's been tough, man. We talked a while back about just like the whole scheduling aspect of it all, and it's just like I feel like sometimes I don't even want to look at my calendar just because it's just crazy, and trying to reorganize dates, and then if you already had a date booked, then trying to talk to that client, it was just hard. And I'm not really in the nightlife scene as much anymore. I not that I wouldn't like to, but I just with two young kids and like trying to work all day long, I did that, and it was tough. So just
Yeah, I can remember
focusing.
some scary, like
Yeah,
I can remember some scary carcoleptic
I,
moments from you.
I was just, I wanted to ask you if I ever told you this story because I was thinking about it today. It was, it was when Inferno was still going on, and it was like a Friday night, and I had a feeling it was, it was like Ohio State weekend or something. It was a big weekend, and I
Okay.
was DJing at Inferno Friday night, and I had just worked. I think I was up there Thursday night at like Indigo or not the basement, but Indigo or somewhere. And it was a crazy night, long night. Got home, worked all day Friday, and went up there, and it was a crazy Friday night, and I killed it. Like it was one of those nights that Inferno was just nuts, right? So I'm getting out of there. It was the place is going nuts. Like people are on the street and everything, and I'm hyped. It was a good night, and I'm driving home, and like I'm getting right out of State College, and it was like a foggy night, and the first hill you go down, like at the bottom of the hill where the old Sheets was there.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
So like I'm getting to the point where I'm going down that hill, and I'm in the passing lane, and like I'm driving, I'm fine. And out of nowhere, man, like 10 yards in front of me, I swear there was a dude that was just standing there in the middle of the road. And I like swerved and tried to miss him, and I just felt like this big crash. And I'm just like, what just happened? So I
Yeah.
drove down the hill, and I pulled into the Sheets there and looked over, and my side view mirror was completely gone. And I'm like thinking, do I go back up there? What am I gonna see? You know, so I'm like, I gotta go back. I went back up there, and I didn't nothing. There wasn't a soul, nothing anywhere. I checked the papers at the Center Daily Times for the next like week, looking to see if any like guy was found or girl or what. Like, but it was just one of those times where afterwards, like, I don't know if I was just like, or what happened, but I needed to step back a little bit, and just doing too many long nights, long days. And you're
Yeah,
absolutely
that's
right.
scary, man.
Oh,
I hadn't never heard that story.
yeah, it was
I know
crazy,
even
man.
even driving home, like and circling College Avenue or Beaver Avenue here in State College, it's like an obstacle
It's
course at
it's
2 a.m.
crazy.
Man, like
It's
there's
like it's
kids
like
that just
Mario
like decide
Kart.
to jump out.
It's
Yeah,
crazy. It's absolutely crazy. But yeah, it was just I don't, like I would go all night, and then I would work all day, and then it just got too much. And when your body
It
says,
catches up to you.
"Oh my God," absolutely, it's just a vicious
And as
cycle.
the owner of the company, sometimes my mind is just like, oh, make them work, make them work.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
it's
Well, you
tough,
don't
man.
think about that. I mean,
Yeah,
and if no one's saying anything, how would you know? And at that point in my life, man, like I thought I was Superman. Like I was in my mid 20s, early 20s. Like I thought I could go 5 days a week. Like if anything, I was
yeah.
asking you for more gigs. Like I would, I wanted to do more stuff. So looking back on it,
And I
yeah,
remember there was a wedding that you like. Was it in Hershey? And like you were falling asleep at the wheel and got pulled over.
yeah, and when cops pull you over, they think especially at 1:30, 2 o'clock at night. First thing they think is, "Oh, we got a DUI, we got this guy," and they pull me over, and they could, like I was just my face must have just been exhaustion, and the
Of course.
cop was just like, "You all right, man?" And I was just like, I had all my equipment in the back of the car. He saw everything. I was like, "I just DJ'd a wedding. I'm just on my way home. I worked all day, exhausted," and he actually got me out of the car and made me do like push-ups and jumping jacks, and had me like run in place for like 30 seconds, and then was like, "All right, you good?"
Yeah.
And he sent me on my way. But yeah, I mean, man, I'm sure I know you've had nights when I was with you at the club, and then you were going and driving to Baltimore for a Sunday wedding, or Philly or Pittsburgh. So I mean, you know how it
Yeah.
is. It's just a crazy
I always have
lifestyle.
the adrenaline after. So I think your exhaustion probably hits you as soon as you stepped off the stage.
Yeah,
But I think mine, like my mind races for like probably 45 minutes or so.
yeah, and,
And then once that hits, it's then I'm like, oh God, I need to sleep.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But you're a big coffee drinker too, right? So like you'll go
Big
get
time.
yeah. See, like I wasn't a coffee drinker back then, so like I was relying purely on like Red Bull, and the crash rate at that thing is like as soon as it's
Well,
out of your
especially with all the
system.
sugar in it. Yeah.
Exactly. As
Yeah.
soon as it's out of your system, you're done. So it's just bad, but I loved it.
I've tried to kick the coffee habit. It's not pleasant, man. Not pleasant to be around
Have
me.
you tried like espresso or like anything
It's
like,
the same thing.
yeah,
It's a stronger coffee.
just like, I know, but you got a little short, like just a smaller glass. That's how I look at it. That like
Oh yeah.
I'm not drinking like three big mugs full of coffee. I'm drinking two little shots, and they might
Yeah,
be,
no, that's
it's
cool.
mind over matter. That's how I look at it.
So I have these full spectrum cannabis drops, the CBD drops,
Yes, sir.
and they're full spectrum. So I guess that means they have a little bit of THC in them.
Yeah,
In them.
I would say. I mean, any of those CBD stuff, they all have some sort of. They have to have a little bit of THC in them.
So from my research, there's full spectrum, and then there's like, and you can't get those in Pennsylvania. You have to order them online. And then the stuff you get in the gas stations and stuff like that, that's not full spectrum, so there's no THC in it,
No, no.
or trace amounts. But like I actually take some CBD every once in a while. It keeps me more awake and more focused, which probably makes me think it's sativa and not indica. But
Yeah,
where I'm going with this is you're in the are you in the weed stock game? You're in the cryptocurrency, right?
I'm in the crypto, but I'm in the weed stock game a little bit too.
Are you
Uh,
getting hammered like bad right now?
see, all the weed stocks are all Canadian because obviously, like
Yeah.
American isn't
Are you are
legal
you
right
are you
now.
doing ACB?
I'm doing the big one that I'm doing is called Afira right now.
Okay.
APHA, I think. Uh, it was down like at 9 something like a month ago, and it just recently went to like 24, 25. So that was a good one. I like trying to think. Aurora Cannabis. That's
Yeah, that's
obviously
what ACB. That's what I
yeah,
have. Yeah.
yeah. I mean that's a big player. Tilray is another big one. The, the thing with that, man, is if you can get in the ground floor now, because
Yep.
it's gonna become legal in. I would say if Biden gets reelected, his second term, that's a big thing on his agenda. It has to be. It has to be.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to get in on it now. It's my brother works for Terrapin. It's the local like cannabis. I don't want to call them a dispensary, like a grow operation. They're actually out of Colorado, but
Okay.
they grow marijuana here, and it's in Avis, Pennsylvania, and it's one of the leading grow operations on the East Coast in the country. But they're doing a expansion right now. That when they're done with the expansion, they're going to be the biggest grow operation on the East Coast, and trying to get in whenever they, eventually are able to go public. Like that's going to be like getting in on Amazon, man. So just it's everyone's dream. Get rich, find something quick, but you gotta play the
And
long
it's
game.
fun.
It is.
Like
It
so,
is, especially the
and I put a little
cryptocurrency.
bit of research. I put a little bit of research into it, and I want to talk about cryptocurrency because I'm not in that, and I want
Yeah,
to kind of wrap my head around it. But so what I'm looking for when I look at cannabis stocks or weed stocks, and right now, like it's very like it's everything is kind of limited to one state.
yes,
Like so, I've been looking at like top selling brands like across states,
yep,
and you could just Google that pretty
yep,
easy.
yep,
But I constantly Google it because I want to find that one brand that hits multiple states as a top five seller because I think that's kind of the potentially could be the one brand that's like that name brand weed. Like right now we
absolutely,
call it weed, we
yeah,
call it marijuana,
yep,
but there's going to be a point 20 years from now where there's a name brand and people are just referring to it as that.
absolutely, absolutely. I mean, you got to think it. This is just gonna be like alcohol prohibition, right? I mean, at one point, alcohol was illegal. It got
Yep.
legal, and look what we're doing now. We're doing
Hell
podcasts
yeah, man.
about alcohol. So you got to think at some point we're going to go in that direction, especially if you look at all the states right now that are either medical or recreational. Like it's coming. Like it's something that's coming. We are getting a generation that's becoming of power, I guess, in politics that are very passionate about it. They're our attorney general in Pennsylvania here is, I mean, he did a tour. He called it a pot tour. I think it was right before COVID, like a year or so before COVID, and he just went around to like,
John Federer, right?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
He looks like a huge hippie, but just went around to
Yeah.
like like colleges across Pennsylvania and like, asked students like, is this something that we want to do? And I mean, I don't know how people don't see how the benefits outweigh the. I don't even see any cons, so I'm not even going to say any cons. But it's just
Yeah,
something
yeah.
that when our kids, when your daughter and my kids are 18 years old, they're going to be able to go to Sheets and if they want to buy a pack of joints, like that's going to be like nothing to them. It's
It's crazy to
eventually
think.
it
Yeah, I'm
is,
all for
man.
it though.
It's crazy. It is. But
Yeah,
yeah,
I'm not a smoker, and I've said this before, but it's mostly just because I don't know where to get it.
well, I mean, eventually it'll be like you go to Walmart, you can get it just in
Yep.
aisle five, But like I have my medical card, so I go up to the
Okay.
dispensary up in State College there. You would like the different walks of life that you see there. I mean, all ages. You have people that are walking in suits, people that are walking in scrubs, young, old. Like, just it really puts in perspective. Like, I think when we were growing up, obviously it was more like a taboo thing. That pot. Everyone calls it
Yeah,
dope.
yeah.
Dope. Weed's not dope. Like it's, but
It's a
that
gateway drug.
exactly gateway drug, all this stuff. And I think now, like at least what I see is you have a lot of people that are able to come out of hiding, if you want to say that, and able to enjoy something that they should be able to enjoy or use the medicine that helps them, with whatever it may be. I don't see anything wrong with that. So,
Actually, both of my neighbors. I live. You know where I live.
yeah,
I live in downtown Boalsburg.
yeah.
Boalsburg is a really cool little cute town, but it's mostly senior citizens. I'm the youngest one by far, and I'm by no means a spring chicken. But both of my neighbors are actually they've got their medical card.
Yeah. And do they?
And I mean, the one is a little bit more private about it. She actually had a hip replacement, so she uses it for pain.
Okay.
My neighbor across the street, um, I'm pretty sure he smoked freely before.
Yeah.
He's a cool guy,
Yeah.
but a loose spirit.
Yeah.
But he's had a knee replacement, so again he had his medical card too. But a lot of people, like, I mean, my girl, I was offered a medical card for anxiety even.
Did she like think about it at all? Because that's, I mean, that's what obviously
She,
everyone wants to say, like, yeah, anxiety, but like that's what I use it for, man. And the nice thing about
yeah,
getting it from medical side is, if you were to get it off the street, you're just going to get whatever someone has. But
yeah,
going to the actual, you tell them what your problem is, and they tell you, here, this is what you need, and they give you what you need, and it works. I mean, I think it's a better, alternative than taking pills or doing whatever else
I would
maybe.
I would 100% agree. Yeah, yeah, it's definitely and again, it's just something that mellows you out, something that like and
Absolutely.
I don't totally I've only had short moments of anxiety. Kristen definitely suffers from more extreme anxiety,
Yeah.
and to the point where she gets sick from it. So she would probably benefit from it.
I
But
would really, really definitely tell her to just look into it because I've talked to people just in my profession. I talk to, a lot of people every day, and I've ran across people that never smoked before in their entire lives. And their doctor said, "Hey, why don't you try this?" And they tried it, and it's changed their lives. Like it's just, it's the proof's in the pudding. You have people across
yeah,
the world that it's benefited. So I definitely have her look into it.
so I feel like I should be like Joe Rogan asking you if you've ever done DMT, but we'll we will
We can
digress
do that
from there.
offline.
Oh man. So what else is new in life, man?
Nothing, man. Just working. Uh, got the kid on the way. We just moved into a new house, like
Congrats.
thank you. This was like prior COVID and everything. So we're finally getting things in order. We're getting our bathroom done right now. So yeah, just trying to make it our own. It actually was the house that Hailey grew up in. So
Okay.
yeah, it's pretty cool that, we can raise our kids now and in the house that she grew up in. And so just,
Now, are you handy at all? Are you
no,
doing any of the stuff on your own?
no, I'm not even going to
No.
pretend like I am. I try. I just, YouTube's a good tool, but
Yeah.
when they start talking, I don't understand a lot of it. I'm trying though. I am. I figured now that I have my own house, I need to learn. I can't be calling my dad anymore or my buddies to come
Oh, dude, I
over.
still do.
I
Down,
mean,
I probably have 10 years on you.
you always can, right? You always can call dad, but yeah, I'm learning. I'm learning. It's a process for sure. But yeah, just I'm really trying to just, especially with not being able to work for, COVID happened March 16th. I know the date. I'll never forget the date. March 16th.
Yep.
And then I didn't go back to work till July 3rd, second or third, something like that.
Wow.
So yeah, I was off that whole time. So since then,
So
I've
that's
really just
your barber shop. Is that a co-op or is that yours?
no. It's my buddies. I went to high school with them. I graduated high school with them. He went to barber school, and he was for a while after he was done or in barber school. He was living in State College, and he was driving. He'd drive up to Lock Haven, and he would cut like myself and a bunch of our buddies' hair. And he was going to move to like Philly or Pittsburgh or something like that. And I sort of said to him, I was like, "Hey man, like you're already cutting a bunch of people in Lock Haven. Like there isn't a barber here right now. Where you've been to Lock Haven? It's a small,
Yeah.
it's a college town, but outside of that college community, it's we got a factory town. So a bunch of middle class workers, just not a whole lot of barbershops. And I said this, it's a perfect thing. So he came in and opened up a barbershop, and that was like 5, 6 years ago. And at the time, I was doing the funeral stuff, and I think that too, with like where I was with basically my life and kids and everything, it was just a lot. Like that when you're doing that stuff, there's no 9 to 5. Like, you may get called out in the middle of the night, you may get called out during dinner. Like I remember there was like 2 years in a row where Christmas Day I got called out. Like we're having opening presents and then
Really?
I get a phone call and I gotta go. So it was just getting too much, and I knew I wanted to have more kids, and he was trying to expand, so he asked me, and it's grown from there. And that was 4 years ago. I've been there, so it's good. I really
Yeah.
really enjoy it. I've tell you, man, I've met a lot of really 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 cool people, and that's something that every job that I've done, I think that's the underlying thing that like I look for in jobs is just meeting some awesome people, like working with Local Motion and then Mint, like meeting all the guys, just awesome relationships that have happened through there, and it's the same thing with this. Just he's a really, really cool dude. He's one of my best friends, and business is good when you work well with people. So
Yes.
it's
Yeah.
going well. It's going really, really well.
It definitely helps when you enjoy what you do and you enjoy the people you work with, and yeah, just all that,
It's
man.
not a
And
job anymore, then,
it,
right? Like
no, no,
at
no.
that
It's a,
point, you're just
but
having
like as a
fun
barber, you kind of play a role of therapist too sometimes, a little bit, right?
all the time, man. All the time. Like it's the male therapy, like
Yeah, yeah,
guys are too masculine to actually go to a therapist. They go get their hair cut. That's what I
dude.
like to think. Like and it's awesome. Like I love just talking to people, like just listening to people, if all they want to do is talk the whole time and I'm not going to say a word, that's cool. Like, if you want to rant and get stuff off your chest, that's what you're here for. And I mean, I always tell people too, like you're going to feel good after you get a haircut regardless. But then if you're able
Yeah.
to have a good conversation while you do that, like that's just the cherry on the top. So just trying to make the best experience out for people. So definitely, definitely enjoy talking and becoming therapist on the side.
Yeah, I remember 15, 20 years ago, I used to go to the barber, and I always felt good, man. Yeah,
I
always
told you,
felt good
man, you should.
afterward.
We do the hot towel shaves. Like you can come down. I
You
get
got
the
to come
the
down. Yeah,
nice straight razor on the head. Like you would feel like $1 million.
I forgot that you told me that. Like, I'm not even joking. We'll hook up. We'll hook that up because
Yes,
we have Genevieve back in daycare for the before Genevieve wasn't in daycare for the longest time,
you were
like
playing
because of
daddy
COVID.
daycare.
Dude, you want to talk about like tough is running a business, dealing with hundreds of cancellations, trying to figure out how you're gonna make money,
Yeah,
and also raising and trying to yeah, just be like trying to like she's only 3, so you're not teaching that much, but you want to do some educational things here and there. You want to
absolutely.
keep her moving. You can't just put her in front of a TV.
Yeah.
So yeah,
So
that's just
how did you do with like COVID and like were you like the one that was watching her during the day for the most part?
oh yeah. So for all of our podcast listeners and watchers, Kristen, my significant other, is a GM at a very very popular restaurant in town, and one of the very first things they did there was almost like they furloughed the entire staff.
Oh,
So
damn.
for the longest time, from the initial shutdown in like mid March to I want to say it was like June or maybe mid June, when things kind of started kind of reopening,
Yeah.
because there was that first wave where people thought COVID was over, and it most certainly was not.
Remember
But it's
everyone was
still
saying like 2 weeks. Oh, this is like a 2 week thing. Like,
two, and now it's
yeah,
a year, we're literally going on a
a
year,
year
man.
later.
At
uh,
her restaurant, though, it was her, the executive chef, an assistant in the kitchen, and maybe that's it.
damn.
And they did takeout orders only. But the reason that business sustained is because they cut their costs so much, and they took advantage of the people that were on salary.
Yeah,
So it's good news. She didn't get cut off. She didn't have to go through the unemployment drama that we probably all had to. But yeah, she worked fucking 60 to 70 hours a week, and it was just
damn.
me at home with a 3-year-old. We had no relationship time, which is important. Um,
Absolutely.
She would come home just completely drained,
Yep.
and to be honest with you, I was probably asleep before she came home most of the
Absolutely.
time. Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah.
How hard, and I tried to like explain this to people because I was in the same boat. Like Haley was working. So I not only had the 2-year-old, but I also had to do school because
Oh man.
where Sally goes to school at, they were still doing online school. So I had to be a first grade teacher as well as be like day. So man, by May, like I was just it was just bad. It was just bad.
And, well, and it didn't really stop in May. Like when
Exactly.
Late August hit. Yeah, yeah,
And everything you like at that point in time, like anytime you turn on the news or turn your phone on, like anything that was being said was all just like bad. So there was
yeah.
no end in sight. This may go on for 2.5 years. Like, I was just like, I can't do this. Like, I don't know. I to this day, I have no idea how babysitters operate with like 7, 8 kids. Like, they are not human. I
Dude,
don't
no.
understand it, but it's just crazy time. Crazy, crazy time.
I think in the case of like babysitters or daycares that have multiple kids, they kind of rely on the kids to self-regulate themselves, like entertain
Absolutely.
each other. But it's also, you put your systems in place like any other business, like a barber shop, like a DJ, like a mortician, whatever the case may be. I think you just get used to it, and you've got your flow. But for somebody like you and I going in blind, we're parents,
Yeah.
but yeah, no,
I'm not a
it's
first
it's
grade teacher, man. I don't,
no.
I don't know how to, and how we were taught stuff back, way back then. They aren't teaching that stuff now. So like, I'm trying to do math with him, and I'm doing it the right way, and he's like, no, that's not how we do it. It's just nuts. Different time, man.
If you want to feel good, like I haven't experienced it, but every parent I know that has kids in school or is dealing with it, and you are not alone. It's
Ah,
been frustrating. Yeah, it's just yeah.
so bad, so bad. But hopefully, I think I see the light at the end of the tunnel. I hope is it's. I think it's coming. I really, really do.
I don't know, man. Like so. When you talk about like our DJ business, which Kyle kind of broke away, is doing his own thing, kind of crushing his market, which is pretty close. And I hit up
Yeah,
Kyle still, and I would love to work with him, and he will work with me. He has before, but he's pretty packed. His schedule's pretty full. But my May is getting thinned out. Like
yeah,
not like so like Wolf admitted like and I'm a lifelong Democrat. I'm not afraid to admit that.
yep,
But I'm also probably more libertarian. I like I like fiscal conservative
yeah.
that approach, but I also like the social liberties, I guess you could say.
I would agree. I'm in that lane.
Yeah, I think a lot of people are. But Wolf just basically limited like events. Did you see that? It's like 15% or no 50. No, it's 15%.
I did not see that.
It was just 2 days ago, and people are touting it as good news.
Uh, I mean,
So
it
now there's two different ways to look at that. There are venues that operate as restaurants, so that's a loophole, and they could have 50%.
okay.
But then there's and in state college, you tend to get the more like kind of like cautious approach with venues.
Play by the book. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Which that means even if you have 1,000 person venue, that means 150 people. And let's
Mm,
be honest, most venues are capped at like 300 to 400.
yeah. Yeah.
So
I
it's
looked at
scary.
it from it's super scary. And again, you think like I did. You think maybe the end is coming, but then you hear that there's another strain or that something else is happening, and like I just saw the whole Texas and I think it was like Mississippi or someone like
Texas
that.
and Mississippi,
Yeah, like
they're just like fuck it.
done. We're done. Fuck it. Yeah,
Yep.
we're done. We're back to normal. And actually, Haley has a friend that lives in Texas, and she texted her the other morning and said like I didn't get any sleep last night. After they announced that we're back to normal, they were putting fireworks off in the streets and like burning masks in the streets and this and
That's
that.
such a Texas thing.
Absolutely. But yeah, I mean, you hear stuff like that and you get excited, but then you hear like the 15% stuff, and it's like, when is it? when's it going to be over? Like, I don't know. Are you getting a vaccine? Did you get
Oh
vaccinated
hell
yet?
yeah! I don't have it. I'm probably gonna be the last person to get it because I'm healthy and
That's
everything like that.
that's exactly what I tell people. Like, I'm self-employed. I'm healthy. I'm middle age. Like, I'm going to be the very last person that's offered it. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not.
Dude, I've checked like 5 times, and so I've got this. I've heard from people that the strategy, like if it's somebody like you or I, that I'm 42, you're 32, right?
32. Yep.
Yep. So somebody like you or I, or is like last in line to get it, CVS and like your Rite Aids and pharmacies like that.
Yep.
Apparently, like once they bring out the supply for the day, especially the first brand that has to be like kept at a certain temperature,
Hmm.
once they bring out that supply for the day, they have to throw it away at the end of the day.
I've heard that too. I've
So I guess you go towards the end of the day, you're called towards the end of the day, and if they have extras, potentially they could get it. You
Yeah,
could get it.
I've heard that too. I've heard just from talking to people that like come in the shop, like they'll know someone that works there and they'll get like a phone call at the end of the day saying, "Hey, call 5 people and have them come down real quick." And you know, I obviously haven't been one of those people that they've called yet, but yeah, I've heard the same thing. It's just basically luck of the draw.
Yeah.
It'll happen when it'll happen, but who knows when that's
My
going to be.
father lives in Florida, and even my mom's a nurse in an ER, and she has gotten it now. But my father like went into like this, I guess in Florida, just they've been pretty open for
Yeah,
since.
I feel like they're the same with Texas, man. Like if you
Except they're even more.
yeah, like if you
Yeah,
didn't think that this was like a virus or anything, like, you went to Florida. Like that was,
yeah.
yeah, there were people in Lock Haven that were going on vacation, to Tampa and Orlando last year. Like, I feel like Florida was the place that you just went to and you didn't have to worry about it.
Dude, Kristen and I went to Key West late June.
Was there any like people wearing masks and stuff, or
It was the best experience of our lives.
really?
First of all, it was dirt cheap.
Oh yeah.
We went like the second or third week that they opened. We basically flew into Fort Myers, Naples, which is where my parents live in
Yep.
Florida. We dropped off our daughter. We stayed there for 4 days.
Uh-huh.
Nobody was on the island. Nobody.
Damn. You guys had it
We
to
stayed at the
yourself.
Waldorf. We stayed at the Waldorf Astoria for like $130 a night,
Wow. Damn. I
and we had like the pool tour. Like there was like 6 people at the hotel pool. We people did wear masks.
Yeah,
Just like in Pennsylvania, you had to wear masks when you walk to your table. Once you're seated at the table, you
you could
could
take
take
it
them
off.
off.
Yeah.
And yeah, dude, it
How
was it
how
was the most
much how
private vacation.
how much was the plane tickets? Were they
Oh,
under?
plane tickets to Florida are always cheap.
Yeah.
Always cheap.
We looked up because we were just messing around like for this week for my birth, like, just flying somewhere, and we looked up,
Yeah.
we could have left this past Monday from State College, or no, Philly. Left from Philly and flew to Miami round trip and got back tomorrow for $32. And that was
$32.
$32. And
Now that's probably like a Spirit or a
yeah, you
Legion
were
or a
flying
Frontier, right?
Frontier. Yeah, you were flying like one of the no leg
Yeah.
room, but for $32,
But they're fine, dude.
yeah,
Yeah.
like, sign me up, man.
For
Like,
like when I look at those flights, if it's like a 2 or 3 hour flight, which like to Miami, that's probably 2.5 hours.
yeah.
Fuck yeah.
Why not? Why not? Like,
Yeah.
you're gonna save so much money because when you get there, if you're going to Miami, like, you're gonna drop a lot of money. So if I can save money on the way getting there, absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm definitely doing that. So
Yeah. I haven't been to Miami in I don't know 5 or 6 years probably.
that was one place I've never gone yet. I'd like to go there. I've heard a lot of really, really cool, but the one thing that keeps me like, I don't know, is expense. Like, I've heard that when you go to Miami, it's like just crazy, crazy, crazy expensive. But if you're gonna go someplace, I guess you want to get the experience, right? So
No, I mean you could do everything. Yeah, I mean you'll probably spend a lot of money on food. Then that's kind of like the one area where I'm like I'm okay with that.
yeah,
But they have boutique hotels in Miami, and I mean I went before the Airbnb craze. I don't know how they are there, but the boutique hotels in Miami, you could find a room off season. Like right now it's pretty busy season.
Yeah, I mean,
But you could write during the right time. You could find $150 in a boutique
that's not
hotel.
bad. It's not bad at all.
The rooms are cool. Like they're super modern, but like they're very like these boutique hotels that aren't like backed by a major brand.
Hmm.
What you'll find out is that they take great pictures for like an Expedia or whatever, wherever you're looking to book your flight, but they're a little rough around the edges. So the rooms, like, they've got cool finishes, they look cool, but then, like, they're just a tiny little bit rough around the edges.
I
But
mean,
whatever.
yeah, and at the end of the day, what you're just sleeping there, right? Like you go to a place to go
Yeah.
explore the city, so like I don't
Well,
care really
sleeping
what
and
the
sleeping and making babies.
exactly.
Yeah.
uh,
But, yeah, as long as it's clean for that. Like, to me, it's like, if it's got a decent bed and decent water pressure to shave my head, I'm happy.
yeah, it's all good stuff, man. That's all that matters.
Yeah. Hot water. Hot water's clutch.
Hmm.
But no, man, Miami's fun. Yeah, there's lots of places you could go.
That's we're doing. Did you do a baby moon? Did you do anything like that? Do you know what a baby moon
What's
is?
that?
A baby moon.
No, what's that?
So I didn't know what this was either. I was told about this. It's a you have the honeymoon. The baby moon is like a trip you take prior to the baby. So
Okay.
like she obviously when you hit that third trimester can't really do a whole lot, and then when you have the baby for 6 weeks afterwards you can't do anything.
Yeah, you're
So
not doing shit.
no, so the baby moon is you're supposed to do that like second first trimester. You go somewhere, relax, sort of set your vibe, your mood for the upcoming events. So we were trying to think of somewhere to go, and I don't know. She likes the New England area, like going, somewhere up there.
And Newport, man. Newport, Rhode Island
Uh,
is amazing.
my best friend got married up there. I was in the wedding, and man, you want to talk about just gorgeous, just
Yeah.
absolutely gorgeous, gorgeous town. Like gorgeous. That's all I can say about it. But yeah, I mean, we went to Salem before. I really would like to go to Boston. That's a cool little place. I don't know. I really, really, really want to go to the Northwest. Like I just have something that's like drawing me out there. Like I want to check out
Northwest
Portland.
is Seattle, right?
Yeah,
Seattle, Oregon,
Seattle.
Portland.
Yeah, like that area. Like I don't know, man. I hear a lot of cool things. There's a lot of people, a lot of my buddies that have moved to like the Oregon area just say like it's just really, really, really cool. Scenery, the cities are like, really youthful and like just cool places to be. So I don't know, man. It's you've traveled before. You could anywhere you go, you're gonna find something fun to do or cool to see. So it's just a matter of like what you're into and what your expectations are of that trip. So we'll see.
So I'm actually going to do a solo cast then within the next few weeks here. I have a couple like solo podcasts where I talk. And one of the podcasts is going to be a mental health and wellness podcast, which, of
Oh,
course, with the drink goes along perfectly. But it
absolutely.
does.
Yeah,
But
absolutely.
one of the I think one of the most important things I think in life is always having something to look forward to.
Yes.
And it could be something small, it could be something big, but like having a vacation, a weekend away, a babysitter, a night out,
Yep.
whatever that is. I think that's just like always having something to look forward to is super important.
That's one of like Haley's like biggest things, and she tells me all the time, and like I always think about it too. Like it's just something that when it gets really, really, really shitty, and you just don't feel like doing anything, like having something to look forward to, and just think like, all right, get through this, and you'll eventually, you're gonna go to, Philadelphia, or you're gonna go to the city, like just wherever, just
Yeah.
having something to look forward to. That's huge for mental health, man. And I that's a it's going to be an awesome podcast because I think that we're in an age too where like it's finally cool to talk about mental health. You know what I mean? Like when we were growing up, like that was like
No, dude, it was shameful.
you couldn't say anything about it. Like if you had, and it's crazy too because like we there was like music out there. DJs relate everything to music, but like there was music out there like Nirvana and like Pearl Jam and shit like that that like was super 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 depressing, but no one wanted to talk about that stuff. You know what I mean? Like it's just it was just something that
It was cool to not give a shit. Yeah.
exactly. And now like I feel like it's the complete opposite. Like these like if you don't have something wrong with you, you know what I mean, or you're not going through something, it's almost like wait a minute, that doesn't seem right. Like, how are you not dealing with something? Which I think that it's a good thing that people are more open about it all and seeking help and stuff like that. Like, I think that we need to be that way, especially with what's going on right now.
Yeah.
It's just crazy.
Dude, people's lives have been flipped upside down.
I
Like,
don't know
not
how.
just almost everybody's.
Yeah, and like I wanted to like, how is the bar scene right now? It's like, what is going on
I don't
with
fucking know.
like?
I have no clue. My
uh,
bar's at home now.
it's crazy. Like that's what I like. How are bars going to survive this? You know what I mean? Like I could see
Dude, they're
restaurants. Like
resourceful.
I mean, but like I get they're resourceful, but like you have a place. I don't want to name drop any bars or anything, but you have places that do X number all the
Yep.
time, all every night, every Friday, Saturday night. You know as well as I do what those places are. That hasn't been the case for a year. You know what I mean? But like, how can you continue like that? And like you said, there's not really an ending. Like we don't see when that's going to change. So how can you keep on? Like it just doesn't. And I can't see Penn State not having bar. It's just it's I I feel for
I
you,
mean,
man.
so AJ and I, DJ Cassius, who's going to be an upcoming podcast guest, of course,
Absolutely.
um, we DJ. The one place that we've DJed is a place called Doggies,
Yeah.
which is an infamous Penn State bar named which used to be the Rathskeller. And dude, Doggies is crushing it. By the way, just like the new owners are awesome. They've done cool things, and Hotel State College even has new owners, which is Indigo
Yep.
slash the Basement now.
Yep.
So these new owners, I mean, they've got a little bit deeper pockets than previous owners,
Okay.
but nobody is would ever have anticipated a year with like a 75% drop in revenue
Yeah.
and having to become crafty and put together takeout meals or not allow guests at bars or be at 25% capacity. So at Doggies, it's wild. So you can't. I mean, even at the official wedding spots where we DJ, like the Nittany Lion and Penn State, you can't walk around with your beverages. Like, so if you get a
Wow.
drink, you've got to be seated.
Wow.
So basically, there's no dancing
Yeah, so like
at Doggies.
what are you playing? Like are you just doing like tech house sets? Like just like
No. So Doggies is a party bar. It's like your like I mean, just that style of the room is a bar where you're playing everything from 80s to
okay,
90s to country and hip hop. So it's not your club style room.
I got you.
But so it's basically just kind of feeling out the crowd, reading the room, knowing what's hot, just like it is in a dance floor. But yeah, you kind of look for those little pops when you play the beginning of a song.
But I
The
see
crazy thing is you have to have food when you drink in Pennsylvania.
yeah,
So you can't just go out to have a couple drinks.
yeah,
You have to have food at your table.
yep,
And, with a 3-year-old at home and with so much going on in my life, I barely drink when I'm out anyway.
yep.
But, like a DJ at a bar, not a wedding, but at a bar, likes to have a couple sips of things. And Cassius might drink a little more than I do.
Yeah. Cheers, Cassius.
That
Cheers.
Yeah, cheers, Cassius. But so they bring it was so crazy. The first night I DJ'd there, the first time I DJ'd there, they just bring over a pizza to sit at your table,
Because that you need to have
and the
food
pizza
just
sits
there.
there. And if you want to eat it, you could eat it, and if you finish it, they're gonna bring you over another pizza. So
Oh,
that's just one of the crazy things, but it's just a small weird thing that just is like, okay, I guess I give unlimited pizza.
that's
It's gonna help
crazy,
me a lot
man.
with my COVID diet here.
That's crazy.
But yeah, so it's just people at their tables responding to what you're playing, and like they might be singing along. You might see them nudging each other.
You
It's different.
I mean, obviously, you got to be like, I feel like that really separates the Joes from the pros, if you may, like because it's not like you're reading a dance floor per se. You know what I mean? You're reading people, and you know as well as I do. Like one of the key things with DJing is obviously being able to read what people are responding to, and
Yeah.
part of that reading is what people are dancing to. Well, if you take that dancing element out of it, like that's that. I mean, it's difficult. It's hard, and especially playing in an element where people still want to hear music and they want to hear like party music. Like you gotta. I would imagine it's got to be still fun for you because you're still like challenged. I would assume.
It is a challenge and it's fun. It's different. And I'm just gonna straight up say it sucks, dude.
Yeah.
It's stupid.
Yeah.
Um,
Would
again,
you
like
would you rather just not
with all
DJ?
due no,
Yeah.
I would rather do this than not DJ.
Yeah.
I would rather do this and DJ atmospheric spots and party bars where people aren't allowed to dance
Yeah.
than live stream.
Yeah. I got you.
I did the live stream thing
I did it too.
pretty actively for the first. It sucks. It's the
Yeah.
worst.
Yeah.
All the technical shit. You're playing for a fucking chat window.
Yeah. And then you're trying to read this tiny ass window, and yeah, man. I did it
Oh,
like
thanks,
twice.
thanks, Tim.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's just like, yeah, it wasn't, and that was when everyone was doing it too, and you had like all these big
Oh,
name DJs doing it, and it was just like, obviously you got to try it, but I agree, man. Like I wasn't down with it. I didn't like it.
it's not the avenue for me. There's a lot of people out there actually that had continued with it and refined what they were doing
Yeah,
and are crushing it.
yeah,
So Twitch is the leading provider for that style of streaming. And I think to be really successful in that realm, you need to be a showman.
yeah,
And
absolutely.
while I can command a stage, I'm confident in my abilities. I'm not a showman. I'm not playing a character.
Yeah,
I'm not doing goofy stuff. I'm not doing what I would consider to be goofy things.
yeah, yeah.
And even the DJs that aren't doing goofy things are putting a ton of work into the production with
Yes,
green screens and videos and graphics.
yeah, yeah,
So, and if you watch Twitch and you enjoy the DJs there, I think Twitch has a tipping system
yeah.
or some kind of monetization system.
They do.
Tip those fucking DJs
Yeah,
because they're putting in a lot of work.
absolutely, man. Absolutely. And like you said, I, with me, like, and I'm more of a DJ where I'm not going to be like scratching and things like that. I'm focusing a lot on just mixing and then like, trying to mix it with, in key and just going, more of that aspect of it. So there's not a whole lot of people like that you're really watching anything. So if you're just listening to something, then why aren't you going and listening to like, a mix or something? I don't know. Like it was just after I did it.
I'm not ashamed to admit, dude. Like, I mean, I could crush parties for days. Like,
Yeah.
I'm 100% proud of my reputation. I think you are too.
Yeah.
But I'm probably pretty boring to fucking watch.
I'm the same way,
What
man.
I do is meant to facilitate people connecting with each other.
Yes. 100%. And that's where I get my, like, that's where I like thrive at. Like I thrive in crowds, watching people enjoy what I'm doing. Like whenever you like, throw a really, really good mix down and that just second song just surprises the hell out of people and you get that reaction.
Yeah,
Like there's nothing like that, and you're not getting that
it's
reaction
squeals, man.
on a live. Yeah, exactly, exactly. You're not getting that on a live stream. Like I don't care who, you're just not getting it. So if you,
Well, you do still get that at doggies, and that's at a
and
place like in
that's
where
awesome.
people are sitting down. Like, yeah, but I feel like you need to magnify that.
Yes,
So, like your whole dopamine of being a DJ is getting those squeals, and
absolutely.
that's all you have.
Yep.
So like you're just going for more of them with like, and it's still psychology. So like with psychology, you can't give squeal, squeal, squeal because then squeals mean nothing.
Correct. Correct.
So you've got to get squeal, you've got to bring them down with not without being boring, and then a couple of songs later you go for another one. So
Yep.
yeah,
Yeah. I mean, I hope we can get back to that soon because I'm the same way with you, man. Like That's why I a big reason why I do it, just to have see those interactions with people and see, just people having fun, I guess. I mean, basically, to put it bluntly, that's
Yeah, and especially weddings, man. Yeah, it's yeah.
yeah. It's just I hope by the fall I hope by the fall that we're we're good. You're back doing your thing at the basement, and Penn State football games are back in, and all that stuff's going on, and we can have weddings and things are normal. But who the hell knows, man?
So State College, dude, like State College, and just like I need to come to you and get a nice hot towel shave, which I'm a little
Absolutely,
fuzzy today.
absolutely.
So we've got some new ownership groups in State College. The Pat Croce family,
Okay,
which has taken over Hotel State College, they're doing killer things. So Chris and I are doing a date night on Saturday at the Allen Street Grill, which is by far our favorite restaurant in town. And you guys need to go. You and Haley
really
need to
good.
go there. Like it just needs.
Yeah,
They've
absolutely.
they've it still has the same name, so you might remember it as Spats at the Grill or the Allen Street Grill,
Yeah,
but the menu, the executive chef, the room design, dude, they're like my people. Like
really.
and like I'm not doing business with them currently, but it's like I want to see these guys fucking like succeed.
Yeah,
Like I want to see them blow up.
yeah.
Like for the fact that they like put the money they put into in that restaurant in a time where they're not making any money,
Hmm.
that's balls.
Absolutely. Anyone doing that stuff right now. Yeah, I mean, I tip my hat to them. That's exactly what you said. You got some big balls
Dude,
on
they
you.
they they took Chumley's. Chumley's is a gay bar here in State College.
Hmm. Yeah.
It's tiny. It's almost impossible to make money at Chumley's.
Yep.
It's just like we're doing this for the community.
Yep.
I think that's always been the approach with Chumley's.
Yep.
And they took Chumley's, and it used to have a bottle shop, which now you've got Sheets selling beer to go. You've got anywhere you want. They knocked down that wall,
Okay.
and they probably spent over $100,000 inside of Chumley's and made it look cool.
Wow.
Like now Chumley's, like it's not even open yet, but I've seen the pictures, I've seen like the previews, I've seen like their design work inside,
Uh-huh.
and I know that Ellen is a great bartender. Like I would go to Chumley's and sit down and have a dope drink, man.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's
So
awesome.
it's
That's really, really, really cool that
yeah,
you have that. I mean, I think you're always going to have cool and innovative things, especially in the area we're in. State College is always going to be like, our quote unquote city, So I think that
yeah.
you're always going to have really cool and innovative people that just sort of migrate to that area, especially around central Pennsylvania. So that's awesome. That's really, really cool that, you have people doing dope stuff like that. I want to bring them down this way, man. We need stuff like that down here.
I mean, you say that, but like Lock Haven, like in a lot of little towns that used to be like railroad towns or coal mining towns, they're starting to get revitalized, and I don't think Lock Haven's far behind, man.
No, I mean, like I said earlier, like, yeah, I think we're coming into a stage where you have like people like us, that are getting politically powerful or coming into positions of power, whether that be city commissioners, county commissioners, mayors, whatever the case may be, and they have good ideas and youthful ideas, that they're not trying to, I'm not saying like libraries are a bad thing, but they're not trying to, renovate a library, or they're not trying to put like more parking lots or stuff like that out there. Like they're doing things that are going to bring business to the city. And any city across America, that's ultimately the goal. You know what I mean? You want to bring money into your
Yeah.
city. So I think it is coming for Lock Haven. I think that the university definitely helps. But we're actually going through a thing right now, man, where they're talking about merging. I don't know if you've heard anything about this, but they're talking about merging Bloomsburg, Lock Haven, and Mansfield University because of state cuts. So if that may be the case, there's a bunch of different situations that are being thrown around right now, but one of them is basically Lock Haven would turn into Bloomsburg University Lock Haven and would essentially be like a community school, and that wouldn't be a good thing. So we're trying to get
It wouldn't.
local. No, I mean I think what would happen is you would have that basically what you would have here is just like a nursing school. So, and you would cut down on just population really, really
Whenever
big
a
time.
company merges, like a successful merger is merging resources,
Yeah,
which ultimately means less resources, less jobs.
yeah, yeah,
So yeah, I could see that.
yeah.
It
So,
took me a while. It took me a couple seconds to process it.
yeah, I mean, Bloomsburg would be is the place that is gonna make out with it all, just because they're bigger. Um, but I mean, who knows
So
that
would it be? I'm sorry, I thought you said Wilkes. So is it Bloomsburg, Mansfield, Lock Haven, or is it Bloomsburg, Wilkes, Lock Haven?
Mansfield, Lock Haven. So the
Okay.
three PSAC schools, and it's a state issued thing. I don't know
Yeah.
the full details on it. I just know what I hear, and that's one of the
Sounds like
things that's being
it would
talked
be
about.
great for the school, but terrible for the communities. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
we'll see what happens, but I just besides the point of that though, we are getting some cool things happening in Lock Haven, and yeah, I mean, there's a brewery that's being going up right now, so that's hopefully
So
opening up.
which brewery is that?
It doesn't have a name yet. Well,
Okay.
the guy has a name. He's not saying what the name is, but he's hoping to open up in roughly like a year. But it's going to be right in Mill Hall, which is like, Lock Mill Hall and Lock Haven are basically the same town. They're
Yeah.
5 miles apart, 5 miles together, but it's like on the outskirts of Mill Hall. So he's opening that up. So that's a cool thing that's happening. There's been a bunch of different like boutiques that have opened up downtown. So there's cool things that are happening, and they're trying to do stuff, but we got a ways to go. So hopefully we'll get
But you
there.
guys have Shop Vac, and you guys have Shop Vac is somewhat close, right? Is that more Williamsport?
Williamsport, yeah, we got First Quality. First Quality is massive.
And how about Woolworth though?
Woolrich, Woolrich, yeah,
Rich, not
that.
Woolworth. Woolworth is a store that hasn't existed in 20 years,
Yeah.
maybe longer.
Woolrich is that it's like I don't know. So they don't make Woolrich at in Woolrich anymore. They make it over in like Europe, I think, or something like that.
Is it China or Europe?
It might be China, maybe. I don't.
China or an Asian country?
Yeah,
Yeah, that
somewhere
seems
over
to be
there.
like.
That's the thing, right? But they they just have like a department store in Woolrich that people shop at. So I mean, it,
Is there corporate headquarters there still, or is that
no, that's all out of here.
no?
Actually, there's a if you or Kristen should ever make it down this way, there's a cool brewery in Jersey Shore. It's called Bald Birds Brewery. They actually have their location that they started out at is down in King of Prussia and Conshohocken, but
Oh, wow.
they're from Jersey Shore. They just live down there, and two really really successful brewery spots down there, and they brought one back up to Jersey Shore, and it's in the old Woolrich factory. And I guarantee, man, in the next 2 years you'll have a wedding there, because that is going to be, mark my words, that is going to be the premier spot to get married at in like this area, like Clinton, not Clinton County, Lycoming County. Like you'll do some
I'll
weddings there,
take.
man. It's a really 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 cool venue that they're doing a lot of just awesome stuff. So
So Jersey Shore, and maybe you know this story, and I wish I had somebody to pull it up. Um, for everybody listening, like it's there. A lot of people aren't Pennsylvania natives,
no,
so there is this town in the middle of central Pennsylvania. There is no shore,
nope,
there is no river, there's no ocean. It's
nope,
just called Jersey Shore.
yep.
Do you know the backstory from Jersey Shore? Because I do, and I want to hear you tell it if you know it.
No, give it to me, give it to me, because I would be
No, you okay?
I would be really interested to hear it.
So I wish I had like the full story because I did Google it one day. It was just one of those things that drove me nuts. Like, what the fuck is this
Yeah.
Jersey Shore town? So sometime in like the early 1900s, Jersey Shore wasn't a town yet.
Okay.
It went by another name, and I think it went by the name of the family that founded it. But this guy from New Jersey moved to that town and came of power through money,
Okay.
but wasn't super popular with the residents. And they would like instead of calling him like Jim or Mike or Bob, they would call him Jersey Shore.
Really?
And as with anything in America, money equals power.
Of
He
course.
continued with his power, and I guess the short version of the story is, eventually the town became Jersey Shore in his memory. Just
That's crazy, man.
it was a condescending nickname. It was a condescending nickname that turned
That
that town
is
like into
crazy. And
just
I've lived here. I've lived in Lock Haven, and for people that aren't familiar, Lock Haven is like 10 miles away from Jersey Shore. Like that was our rival high school growing up. Um, I've never heard that story, man. I've never heard that story. So
you gotta Google it.
yeah,
It is out there. It's actually much better. It was like a good almost hour long read about like the struggle of power there.
yeah, that sounds like a good HBO like series that they could make something like the rise of Jersey Shore and center it around Jersey Shore, the guy from Jersey Shore.
Yeah, and I would watch it. I like that kind of
Absolutely,
shit. There was something on about the Johnstown flood, and I think it was not HBO, but maybe A&E, and I watched the shit out of that. I loved it,
you have to you have to watch those documentaries, man.
dude. Yeah, they're great. But yo, I think we've said a lot here.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, a ton of fun having you. How are you feeling from the drink?
I'm out, man, and I'm feeling awesome, feeling really really good. Great nightcap to the
Feeling pretty
birthday.
good. I only made myself a single,
Huh.
and I'm feeling kind of good. I don't know whether you used a large cube or a couple of cubes, but it mellowed it really nicely after
Yeah,
they kind of
I used a decent amount, so it lasted.
cool.
It lasted.
Yeah, it definitely makes it more drinkable. It was
It's
strong.
good though. It's very very good. Well
Yeah,
done. Thank you.
thank you. So I'll tell you the secret here, and as usual, I would go in there. So I think for the longest time in the United States, absinthe was actually illegal.
Yeah. Yep.
So there is a liqueur called Herb Saint,
Okay.
which is a French liqueur, very similar to a Amaro from Italy. Very licorice heavy. I guess you could say it's similar to a Jaeger.
Okay.
But for the longest time, when people would make Sazeracs, they would use Herb Saint.
Hmm.
So I've got some Herb Saint here, and I just knew like when you make a Sazerac, you rinse the glass. That's just with a spray.
Okay.
So my absinthe at home here actually is in a spray bottle.
Nice.
So you just rinse the glass. Yeah, that's the technique there. But with traveling, there's no glass, so I actually use Herb Saint instead of absinthe,
Okay.
which will probably do you a favor in the morning, but you still get the same flavor.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm gonna have to try that absinthe trick though. That's nice. I like that. Innovative, man.
Yeah, that's how you make a Sazerac. Is you just rinse the glass a little bit, 2 sprays in the glass just to get that flavor, and it's super strong. So that's really all you need.
Perfect. I'll try it one of these
Yeah,
nights
man.
when the kids aren't home though. When they're at the grandparents for the night.
Or when more importantly, they could be home that night, but the next morning.
Yes, exactly. I'm not in
Yeah,
charge.
like I have not been shit faced in so long because I just dread being hungover with a
It's the
child in the
worst
house.
thing ever, especially when you get that like 6:30 wake up call like right in your face, like, "Hey,
Yeah.
daddy, time to wake up." Like, no. It's not fun. Not fun at
I
all.
I don't know how your kids are, but when I get home from DJing a wedding, I wasn't home when she went to bed, so I'm the first one she runs to.
Absolutely. Yep. Yep.
And usually we're home at midnight or afterward, and just daddy, daddy, daddy,
Yeah.
daddy.
Yep. Yes, man, it's rough. It's rough, but
Yeah,
it's what we signed up for.
yes, sir. But yo, Kyle, legit, it was awesome hearing from
Thank
you.
you.
Good talking to you.
Absolutely, man. Thank you for
I'm
having me,
super,
man. I
super
really,
pumped
really
to put this
appreciate
out.
it.
My pleasure. And I do not know that it's still your birthday, is it?
Just
Hell
for
yeah.
like a half hour.
Happy birthday, man.
Thank you, buddy. I appreciate it. Good seeing you, man.
Good seeing you. Have a good
You
night.
too, bud. See ya.
3, 2, 1. And we're cut. Cool, man.
Perfect.
Yeah, I
Awesome
like this. It
stuff.
was good.
This is an awesome. So, like, do you pay anything for this? Like, or is it just like you sign up and
So, this podcast is officially a subsidiary of Mint.